came, we saw it, we've got things to say about it. I am the ever-loving blue-eyed OmniBeau, joined by Mark Grodd Watson, and down below us we have the always informative, always glorious to see Mr. Ryan Moore. How are you guys?
We're good. I'm good. I'm very good.
Fantastic. Take it away. What did you think about Moon Knight?
Yeah, first Ron.
Well, I'm surprised they managed to wrap it up as well as they did, considering how much they had to fit into this one episode. Like, it was a miracle that they could pull that off. Like, I honestly expected it to be pretty sloppy, but it really came together.
I was expecting big things with this one, and it paid off. However, in hindsight, it was very, very, very expected, I think, everything that happened.
Yeah. I was surprised. Just like Ryan said, I was surprised they fitted it all in. To be honest, I thought, no way, they're going to leave so many things unsaid and whatever. And, we kind of got the conclusion we wanted, but also a story to something else what we want now too. So they've left it open. I've had a few mates message me that don't know much about comics and stuff like that, and they watched the last episode of Moon Knight and they go, clearly there's a season 2, right? And I said, well, apparently not. They go, well, what are they going to do? I was going, no idea.
What are they going to do? Simple answer. MCU. Moon Knight will be appearing in other TV shows, other movies, hopefully, which brings me to a point of one thing that I completely forgot they were doing. We know about the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, but they're doing a Halloween thing too, aren't they, on Disney Plus for Marvel?
Yeah, Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
Yes. Which brings me to another point. On most of these episodes, I've been saying that Werewolf by Night was going to make an appearance in the last episode of Moon Knight. Obviously, that didn't happen. Obviously, I was a little disappointed. Obviously, I hate saying these things and then being wrong because I look like a dickhead. However, hopefully with this Halloween episode, we'll get Moon Knight back.
Yeah. And they're going to bring Man-Thing into it as well, so apparently. It fits the criteria. I honestly don't know what route they go. And I thought to myself, and I said to my mate, I'm going, sure, this is not the end for Moon Knight. It could be, but I doubt it. I think they're just going to be a wait-and-see situation. And we'll see what happens.
You know what I find really interesting? They've got a nice little group of just superhero characters just in London, centralized there. Like you've got Black Knight and Blade and Moon Knight now as well. So they're definitely building up to Midnight Suns, which is probably we will see Moon Knight there.
Yeah, we can get a bit of Ghost Rider too, maybe. That'd be great.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with Ghost Rider because obviously they've done that in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And they've done that in obviously the Nick Cage movie, so that'll be interesting to see when the MCU.
I don't think they'll add to Ghost Rider, but otherwise, I'm up for Midnight Suns. Like Ryan said, that'll be fine because they're obviously bringing out a Blade. Is it a movie or TV series? I can't remember.
Movie.
Yeah. Plus, I think one of the biggest disappointments about the Midnight Suns eventuation is the fact that you can't or you won't have Morbius in it. And even if you do, it's yeah. Let's not talk about that.
It's not going to work.
Well, I'm going to be honest. Morbius is only interesting if you have him fight Blade.
And
That's
Spider-Man.
the only time he's interesting.
And Spider-Man, thank you very much.
No.
Did you guys
back to Moon Knight?
Yep.
So I don't know if any of you were thrown by this. I didn't expect Layla to actually become an avatar.
No.
That was a
So-
surprise.
When that happened, I was like, what the hell? That just came out of left field for me. Like, I didn't expect it.
Yeah. And the costume, man, that was some killer wings. I mean, it's almost a little bit of a disappointment because we've seen the Falcon, so it's nothing kind of new, but it was really cool the way it looked. Yeah, I was a fan of that.
Yeah, me too. I thought she kicked ass. I didn't know if that's a comic book character or not. As I said, I'm not familiar with Moon Knight too much apart from the new series.
Yeah,
But,
I think it would be the Scarlet Scarab.
Okay, that makes a bit more sense. But yeah, I thought she was really kick ass. My favorite bit was Mr. Knight, obviously Stephen, where he in the suit and he's got the tongs and he's going through all the bad guys. I thought that was a really good action sequence. Really good fight scene.
It's
My
one
favourite
of the best action sequences they've done in the MCU, I'd say.
I 100% agree, Ryan. I thought this is cool. More of this.
Like, it's Daredevil hallway scene level, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree.
I really dug Mitt. First of all, I don't know why I was so surprised. I think it's because when you hear about a character in your head for so long, you portray them in your mind. But it never occurred to me that Amit was female. So when you saw this glorious looking crocodile with this amazing hair, I just went, man, that is killer. That is sick. She looked great.
She did. Yeah. She looked lit. Heaps cooler than Khonshu.
Yeah.
Hey, Khonshu had some drip in this episode. Just remember that.
Yeah.
Since was Moon Knight flying, or was he
Has
gliding?
that ever happened? Does Moon Knight ever fly?
No, Moon Knight in they make the comparison of Batman and Moon Knight. This is one of those things that if you don't know anything about Moon Knight and you know Moon Knight has his own jet and glides, fair enough, you might think he's like Batman, but that's the way he is in the comics, isn't it? He doesn't fly. So
He's empowered by the moon god. He can do whatever we need him to do.
Freaking
Apparently.
Did you guys notice any Easter eggs?
Not really.
No?
Not for me. No.
Not one?
Yeah. Well, you got one, have you, Bo?
Yeah, well, I expected
Ryan
Ryan to pull this one out. It was a pretty obvious one too. It was the psychiatric hospital. Did you not see the name of it?
Yeah, Sienkiewicz Hospital.
Sienkiewicz Hospital. The Moon Knight writer.
Artist.
Artist? I knew that was wrong as soon as that was the only Easter egg that I got though.
Okay. So
Ethan Hawke in this episode as well. He really did a really good job as Arthur Harrow.
Yeah.
The original character that they created just to this TV series. I really liked where they ended his character and the full circle arc that Mark went through at the end in dealing with Arthur Harrow. Where it's like, well, if I kill Arthur Harrow, then you are no worse, Khonshu, than Amit is. You're doing the exact same thing that she would do.
Yeah.
100%.
I've mentioned it before in a previous episode, but it's kind of hard for me anyway to argue Amit's logic. Like, even though killing people and doing a whole minority report on the world is wrong, you can't argue the way that she portrays her logic. You, Khonshu, are waiting for people to do the bad thing and letting them enjoy the bad thing and then killing them. I'm stopping them before they even do it. And it's like, yeah, I kind of get that. But, I like that when you can understand the villain.
I think there's a line, obviously, because people can change their mind. But I was thinking that when they were grabbing people and judging them, like, where's the cutoff line? Are you like, hey, just stole off an old lady a couple of bucks, or marble rye like in Seinfeld, or do you, or do you want to? Do you want to murder
I put
somebody?
gum
Like,
on the bottom of the seat.
yeah. So where's the line? Where is the line where it makes you bad? Like, where are you going to draw it that you actually get your life taken away from you? Like, is it a thought, or is it,
Jake Lockley. That was good.
That was
good.
I think that is the best post-credit scene of Phase 4.
I just loved how we keep waiting for Jake Lockley. We keep waiting and waiting and waiting. And then all of a sudden, they do the thing that they did in the first episode where he blacks out. And you know it's not Mark. You know it's not Steven. And you go, that was Jake Lockley. That was really cool.
That was a ballsy decision as well, because it cut out like almost the entirety of the final battle.
Yeah, it was.
But
it was good because and you got to see it through his eyes, which is great.
Yeah.
And I also found it interesting that they didn't give him his New York accent that he normally has. They instead made him Spanish.
Yeah. I think that's to really differentiate the personalities. But yeah, I mean, you know, in the comics, Jake Lockley isn't the hardcore killer that he's portrayed in this show either. So, you know, and plus Mr. Knight is a completely separate personality in the comics to Steven.
Yeah.
But, you know, they changed things up. The only thing that sort of annoyed me a little was Layla not being noticed in Harrow's crew. Like, it wasn't that big a gang, and she just had a thing on her, and no one looks at her and goes, "Hey," you know. I thought that was a bit, you know.
But
this is a universe where people can just wear sunglasses and a cap and not be noticed. So
it just reminds me of Thor Ragnarok, and goes, you can clearly tell you are. He goes, not if I do this.
And speaking of Thor, I understand why they didn't do this. However, it would have been really cool if they did. We have a movie coming out with Thor where the villain is Gore the God Butcher, who kills and butchers gods. We have a whole show about Egyptian pantheon gods. And you're telling me that you wouldn't have a scene where, like, Gore comes and kills some Egyptian gods? Like, I get why they're not doing it, because they want to leave the reveal for Thor the movie. And I'm assuming in Thor, Gore isn't just going to be the God Butcher straight away. They'll show his struggle, just like in the comics, and how he becomes the God Butcher. But still, it would have been cool, man, if all of a sudden Christian Bale, Gore, just like kills a couple of gods and looks at the camera and goes, Asgard's next or something. You know what I mean? And then in Thor movie, maybe they show a flashback as to why Gore is like that. I don't know. You know, I'm just saying. I think that would have been cool.
Well, the thing about having a character called the God Butcher is that you need to introduce some gods from the Butcher before you actually introduce the Butcherer.
Yeah.
The way they've done it, it's fine. It gets the point across. You get a couple gods on the board that he could eventually maybe butcher.
Yeah. I think there's a clear cut of where they're rating these characters in the MCU, like Kevin Feige really rating these characters. Because I remember back in the days where WandaVision was coming out and they were talking about the architect, and people were speculating that it was Reed Richards. They're not going to bring out a Reed Richards for a TV series, movie time. You know, I'm thinking that with Gore, the God Butcher, because this is a Thor movie time villain. No disrespect to anybody that's in the TV shows at all characters, and some of them I love more than the movie characters. But yeah, I'm thinking of the big scale of what Feige's doing. These are not characters he's not going to introduce into TV series.
And I used to believe that and think like that until we saw Kang in Loki.
Yeah. Well, maybe he doesn't rate Kang. So I don't know.
Well,
We'll find
the
out.
way
I don't
that
know.
the
He
way
is the
I
main
think
villain
he
in Ant-Man. That's not a big. That's not a big skull.
the way I think he's viewing like these Disney Plus series is they're like preludes to the actual big event movies. So like you don't necessarily need to see them, but you get extra context if you do watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before seeing the new Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, I probably agree with you there. However, after seeing it, I think do you really need to see WandaVision? Because it's all about Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange, and I just feel like you might be a little lost with that if you don't watch it.
Yep.
You would be, but at the same time, they catch you up well enough in the movie as to what has happened to where you could watch it without having seen WandaVision.
Fair enough.
And with the personalities, I just want to touch on this. I find it interesting that Mark is the middle ground personality, and then you've got Stephen as one extreme, and Jake as the other extreme. Stephen being like the really nice personality, and then Jake Lockley being the really extreme murderer personality.
Right. So it makes you think, you wonder, like, because we know how, because of the episode before, why he created Steve. Why did he create Jake? Was it because he didn't want to deal with how murderous of a person he is? So he does Jake to do the bad stuff? So that's just another really interesting aspect.
That is a great point. Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Well, the other couple of bits that I liked was when that goddess Tarrowit was talking through the dead bodies. I thought that was pretty fun.
It's funny.
And what was the other thing? No, I've gone blank. Yeah, okay. I liked. Oh, that's right. No, when Layla showed a bit of her acting chops and she was going between the personalities, that was cool too.
I thought it was good. I thought she was pretty good through the whole series. Like, we only really had three major characters, didn't we? So, and Ethan Hawke, where I've never really rated as an actor. I thought this was one of his best performances. So that's just me.
What else did you like about it, Ryan?
I really enjoyed how they had him switch costumes mid-fight.
Yeah.
Like, that was a cool visual just to see, because it could have looked really bad and turned out really well.
Yeah. I've never been a fan of how the costume just comes on like that, right, with his personality. However, I am a big fan of the updated mummy look of the Moon Knight costume, because it really makes sense. Even though it's not like that in the comics, it makes sense that it's like that, being a whole Egyptian theme.
Yeah. I was going to ask you that, how you enjoyed this costume Moon Knight one. Like, to be honest, I like the Mr. Knight one better, but it's just me, it's personal. But yeah, what do you think, Ryan?
Personally, I'm a big fan of the Mr. Knight costume. I'd be curious to see what the Jake Lockley Moon Knight costume looks like, in all honesty. It might be a more armored look.
Yeah, true. Or it could also be the way that they've portrayed him in the last couple of years. It's obviously he's all white, but in a few things we've seen recently, he's got a lot of black to him. Yeah. So it could be that.
Are they different bodies now? Is it like there is Stephen and...
No, it's all the one body.
So still all the one body?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is why it's confusing now, because apparently Mark and Stephen don't have the power of the Moon Knight now. They relinquished it. But Jake Lockley does.
So they weren't in two different places then, were they? Like he took over them.
Well, that's what was confusing about the ending. Actually, I'm not surprised if a lot of people are confused because it does a couple of time jumps where it's all of a sudden goes to a bit of the future, like the a week ahead or whatever, and Harrow's in the nut house, but then it jumps to that mindscape, and it can be a little confusing for people. I know I was a little confused and had to watch that ending again. So yeah, it wasn't quite clear exactly the time lapse that happens there. But yeah, to answer your question, it's Jake Lockley is now, you'd imagine, in charge of the body.
Yeah.
And Khonshu is pretty much in charge of Jake Lockley.
Manipulating it, yeah. And you would think, I'm surprised that Steve and Mark aren't, because they obviously know there's another person that's doing this, so surprising they're not onto it yet. But I guess that's, as you said, future, they could be onto it. We don't know.
Yeah.
I guess
Just
I'm thinking too much into this.
Just to double back really quickly to the Mindscape stuff, I found it. There's a lot of symbolism you can look at in what they do with the Mindscape in this episode, and how he just decides, well, I'm going to walk out of this mental hospital, because if he views his mind as a mental hospital because he's crazy and he's out of his mind, that shows him walking out of there would just be him showing that he feels that he's no longer damaged, that he's a whole person.
Yeah. Which clearly he's not. But at least he thinks it.
Yeah.
And with that being said, let's get a word from our sponsor.
This show is sponsored by the Comx shop. Check out comx.cx for all things Comx and find out what Comx is all about. Then head over to comx.shop to pick up a variety of Australian comics from multiple creators and publishers, all for one flat postage rate. We hope you enjoy the show.
One flat postage rate. Ryan, lift your eyes up a little, mate, over that banner. You can buy one comic, you can buy 10 comics, and it'll cost you the same. That is amazing. Fantastic. Go check out Comx. Well, I don't know about you guys, but that's all I've got for Moon Knight.
I've said all I need to say on Moon Knight.
Yeah. To be honest, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Where do you guys put it on the scale in the Disney Plus shows? Are you putting it up there or in the middle?
I would be putting it up there. I know a lot of people weren't huge fans of Captain America, Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I actually really liked that. I love the whole. Yeah, I really enjoyed the whole storyline with US Agent. But yeah, no, I'd say it's up there. I mean, I've loved them all, to be honest with you. I think the only one that I don't care about is Miss Marvel. That's coming, but I'm saying that before I've watched it. You know, so when I watch it, I might love it. But yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
For me, this is top shelf content. So, in terms of the Disney Plus series, the best ones, the ones I've enjoyed the most, Hawkeye, Loki, and Moon Knight now as well.
Yeah, I forgot about Loki. Yeah, actually, I think Loki was my favorite out of all of them.
See, Loki, I didn't like as much as the rest of them. I was more Falcon Winter Soldier. Love Moon Knight. I'm with Ryan with Hawkeye. I really loved Hawkeye. So yeah, I don't know. It was just enjoyable. Hawkeye is just something I reckon I could watch it again tomorrow and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
The other ones I'm not 100% sure with. I might get 1 or 2 episodes in and give it up if I watch it again. But yeah, Hawkeye I could watch all over again.
That's a good
I reckon
way
if I tried to watch Loki again, my mind would probably melt with just how much they're dumping on me. But I still loved it.
Yeah. I would just say to the screen, stop talking about variants.
That's the way mind dumping. That's the way I'd feel about watching WandaVision again. I think I really enjoyed WandaVision, but yeah, don't know if I want to watch it all again.
I don't think I'd ever watch that again. Like I said, I never hated it, but I wouldn't watch it ever again.
I thought it was okay, but the ending just soured it for me.
Yeah, bad. Like, on another thing to touch to, who was the main like general in WandaVision? Why did he get arrested? Like, those two kids were fake. He didn't shoot anybody. What did he really get arrested for? I don't know. They go, take him away, boys.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. All right. And that's the end. We have come to this saga of 6-week cinematic awesomeness. That was Moon Knight. Thank you for sticking around and joining us. We will see you Monday for the live chat. We will also see you for part 2 of Through the MCU, which is going to be the Incredible Hulk. Please check out the recent haul video that we are going to be uploading. That has amazing stuff in it. And just remember as well, like and subscribe. Share the love. Check out A51 Designs on Instagram. He does all of our thumbnails, all of the graphic design, all of the editing. Check us out on Instagram at AussieVerse, Comics Collectors, and last but not least, the 400 subscriber giveaway. $100 Amazon gift card. As quick as we get there, the quicker somebody gets that, baby. All right, this has been AussieVerse for life.